Okay, everybody fully ready? Water, potty break,
Yep,
anything
I'm
else?
Kissing right now, so we're good.
Good. Okay, perfect. You got a little bottle under the desk, just like that car ride?
Yeah.
Good, great, fantastic. In that case, where's my script? Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the To Be Titled Later podcast. I'm Griffin, I'm joined by Anthony, and today, this is the podcast of a killer.
Fire.
That is the stupid joke I've had in my notes since the beginning. It's the Twilight episode.
The Twilight episode? It's only been 30 episodes. 52 episodes.
More, probably.
Oh, do I actually have
So
my list? Oh my god, we're done.
I hope you have your list of notes. I have a loose format of what we're going to do for this.
Okay.
We are just going to go over brief summaries of all 5 of the movies and give
Oh my
thoughts
God.
for those of us who have seen them.
All 5.
Very brief. Oh yeah, all 5. Then we're going to go more in depth through the plot of the first movie, the good one, the good bad one. And we'll just go in depth on that. And then I have a couple sections of us to read the scripts of.
Oh my god. Okay.
I
We'll
have
see.
a request though, because Anthony hasn't seen the last 3, and we cannot ruin Breaking Dawn Part 2 him. Like, I needed that
fine.
to be the biggest shock of the century.
Okay, fine. In that case, because Eclipse and Breaking Dawn Part 1 are literally nothing movies.
Yeah.
Can I do those?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I am on board with that.
Okay, perfect. Cool. In that case, let's talk about Twilight.
Let's do it.
Griffin,
Let's talk.
where the hell have you been, Loca?
Yes!
I
The
know that-
wine!
I know the reference.
I wanted to
You
say
know that
early.
reference, Anthony. Okay, so Twilight. I am pulled all of these synopses from Wikipedia, the Twilight Saga. So pretty simple. Twilight. It focuses on the development of a personal relationship between teenager Bella Swan, Kristen Stewart, and vampire Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson, and the subsequent efforts of Edward and his family to keep Bella safe from a separate group of hostile vampires. Edward refuses to grant Bella's request to transform her into a vampire so that they can be together forever, arguing that she should have a normal human life. That is the brief synopsis of the first movie.
The fact that happens in the first movie is fucking wild. I think most of my thoughts are going to be on just this time span of this movie. Just FYI.
How the plot moves.
Well, tell me about it. What are your
Okay.
what are your thoughts?
So, overall, I think that synopsis is correct, but it needs to say how old, what is his name? Edward?
Edward.
How old Edward is, because Edward is like over 100 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like it needs to be stated, like grown ass man falling in love with child. How old is she? How
Well, he's
old
not a
did it say?
grown ass. I'm about to pull the technicality card on you because I'm a piece of shit and love to be contrarian, and it's not an argument that I necessarily believe. He's technically just been a teenager for over 100 years.
Yeah, but he.
Got the chaos that's got to play on the hormones.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess if that's
No,
how
yeah, he's a grown ass man.
he is. I mean, at this point, he's, an elderly man, but sure.
He has like multiple doctorates, I think, technically.
I mean, should we get into the details? Like, does he have hormones?
Great question. I don't fucking know. What does he have?
Well, as someone who is a dedicated Twilight fan, I do know that way back in the day, Stephanie Meyer, author of all 4 books, did post on her website the specifics and technicalities of, particularly the reproductive system for him and how
Jesus
that would
Christ.
all work. I don't know about the hormones, but let me see if I can do some research on that while we chat.
See if you can pull that up real quick. Also, I forgot, this is our special guest, Allison.
Hey,
This is the part where we get into the segment of can Edward get hard, which I assume the
Yeah.
answer is no.
I mean,
If he can get hard, then he has hormones.
okay. Well,
yeah,
that just means he has.
but also blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
Is it testosterone specifically that gets you hard?
I guess we're Googling.
It helps.
It
I
helps.
will. Hey, as an expert on hormones in this field, it helps. I think Viagra is literally just like, for the most part, a dose of hormones or a dose of testosterone. Actually, I don't know that. Let me not pull that out of my ass.
I mean, I think the answer is yes. I think you need testosterone to become hard. But what if he's getting hard off of the pig's testosterone that he's drinking, right? Because they drink pig blood.
They drink animal blood, not
specifically.
necessarily pig.
Okay, sorry.
Never mind. It's a different chemical. But
I
yeah.
do have a question for Anthony. I would like to hear what your interpretation is of why Edward does not want Bella to be a vampire. Because as a child reading Twilight, I think that was really, really unclear to me.
Okay.
So I'm just curious about your interpretation.
I think that Edward craves death, which comes up in my notes later. I think that he wishes he had died during the influenza and gets very bored at night when he can't sleep. And I think that he just doesn't want her to miss out on growing up like he did. Like, I think he knows that he didn't have a childhood. Like, he didn't go to, 1840s prom. And so he just wants that for her.
Okay, interesting.
That's my thought. So
It's wild how prominent prom is in this.
yeah, like she's like, oh, I want to essentially ruin my life. And he's like, but prom. And it's like, I don't think it matters that much. What are your thoughts, Griffin, on why he does not want her to become a vampire?
I mean, a lot of it is laid out in the specific scene where she's like, I know what you are, a vampire.
Oh, he's a killer.
He thinks vampires are monsters, that they're killers. He doesn't like what he's become. He doesn't want somebody put through the pain. He doesn't want to put the person he loves through the pain of becoming a vampire. And he doesn't want her to live eternally in that pain or some shit. I don't know. It's some sappy shit.
It is, but also, like, once you learn that Stephenie Meyer is a Mormon and a diehard Mormon, I think it all makes so much more sense when they bring up this conflict of, like, Edward's soul and does he feel like he has a soul or not? Because really what he's worried about is if she's a vampire and she doesn't have a soul, if she dies, she'll go to hell. Like, that is actually Edward's true conflict. It's all wrapped up in religion and, like, her going to heaven or hell. So he's like, if I keep her human, she'll for sure go to heaven. But, like, he wants her to live virtuously.
Okay, but then there's no redemption for him. Like, he can never go to heaven? Is that his thought?
Yeah, Edward believes that he has no soul. That's why, like, when we watch New Moon, right? A lot of the plots in New Moon revolve around that. Like, he says he's jealous of Romeo to be able to die so easily with confidence. Yeah. Edward is, like, conflicted because he's not sure what happens if he dies, but he's already dead. And I think he hates the uncertainty, and that's actually what he doesn't want for Bella. He's, like, worried about her soul, which is really fucked up.
I always forget that she's like, Stephenie Meyers is like heavily Mormon, and like that's the whole thing. So Mormon. That's like the whole thing where he's like, I'm not gonna do it unless you marry me.
But
it's
here's
like, Jesus fucking Christ.
But like, if she's that religious, isn't she setting up, like, isn't this the whole point that religious people are like, oh, if you don't, well, I guess how does this, like, why is Edward then a good person if he's gonna go to hell and there's nothing he can do about it? Like, in her worldview, like, isn't that seen then as someone who, like, wouldn't do good things? I don't know how Mormonism?
Oh yeah, it becomes completely in conflict with them being the protagonists of the series, and obviously Bella becomes a vampire. Like,
I think that's also the innate conflict, though, right? But the first book, the first movie, it's all about Edward very much being one of the most iconic quotes. What if I'm not the superhero? What if I'm a bad guy? And that's the inner conflict. Like, that's what she's writing about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Okay, so shall we get into the vampire reproductive system?
Oh, please do. I'm so glad you've pulled it up in the meantime.
So this comes directly from StephenieMeyer.com. She does make a note that the question of how is this possible is redundant because of course it's not possible, but she does love to comment on how it could exist within her specific fantasy that she has built. So, let's see. The cells that make up their body are not pliant the way that human cells are, so vampire cells are different. They are hard and reflect like crystal. A fluid very similar to the venom in their mouths works as a lubricant between these cells, which makes movement possible. Please note that this fluid is very flammable. Hence, to kill a vampire, you set it on fire, right? A fluid similar to the same venom lubricates their eyes so that their eyes can move in their sockets. The lubricant venom in the eyes and skin is not able to infect a human the way that the venom in their mouth can.
Okay, so tears.
I suppose so. Similarly, throughout a vampire's body, there are many versions of venom-based fluid that retain a marked resemblance to the fluid that was replaced when they were a human.
Semen.
Therefore, the function is very much the same. Though there is no venom replacement that works precisely like blood, many of the functions of blood are carried on in the same form, so he can get hard. Also, the nervous system runs in a slightly different but heightened way. Some involuntary reactions like breathing continue. Other involuntary reactions like blinking don't exist because there's not a purpose for them. The normal reactions of arousal are still present in vampires, made possible by these venom-related fluids that cause tissues to react similarly as they do to an influx of blood. Fluids closely related to seminal fluids still exist in male vampires, which carry genetic information that are capable of bonding with the human ovum.
I have questions. In my canon, she's talking about like there's all these different venoms. I think it's actually just the cum venom that's doing all of the things for their body. Like, I think they're moving because of the semen venom. I think they're blinking because of it. They're moving their eyeballs. Like, I think it's all the same venom. I think that she doesn't want to say it.
Vampires are made of cum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting theory.
That's my theory.
They do talk about how horny everybody is in Breaking Dawn Part 1, so you'll get there.
Okay, interesting.
It's really true.
Is that the third movie?
Fourth.
Fuck. There's so many goddamn movies.
There's 5, and the middle ones don't matter.
The second one didn't matter. I mean, we'll talk through it. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the synopsis of the first movie. Hey, let's talk about the synopsis of the second movie.
I have more thoughts, though.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, is it scene by scene thoughts? Because we will get to that.
Oh.
Or is it like overarching thoughts?
No, I just have a list of a bunch of different things in the first movie that I thought were wild.
Okay, then we'll get to that in the more in-depth look.
Gotcha. Okay,
second movie, New Moon. The film follows the Colons' departure from Forks and Bella Swan's fall into a deep depression. This depression persists until Bella develops a strong friendship with Jacob Black, Taylor Lautner. She consequently discovers that Jacob has unwillingly become a werewolf. Jacob and his tribe must protect Bella from Victoria, a vampire seeking to avenge the death of her mate by killing Bella. A misunderstanding occurs, and Edward Cullen believes Bella is dead. Edward decides to commit suicide in Volterra, Italy, but he is stopped by Bella, who is accompanied by Edward's sister Alice. They meet with the Volturi, a powerful coven of vampires, and are released on the condition that Bella be turned into a vampire in the near future. Bella and Edward are reunited, and she and the Cullens return to Forks. Edward tells Bella that he will change her into a vampire if she agrees to marry him. That is the longest synopsis out of all of these movies, and it's because this is the middle movie where the most happens.
Oh my gosh, I would disagree with you wholeheartedly, but I'm excited to.
You have not seen the 2 movies after this.
That's true.
If I could impart some additional Twilight knowledge here too, from my days of being hyper obsessed. I do remember Stephanie Meyer said that her plan was to only write two books. Like she was going to do Twilight and then 1 book after that, in which pretty much immediately again, this is a spoiler for you, Anthony, but Bella gets pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. But it was just going to be those 2, and then very much got convinced by the capitalist machine to just absolutely drag the shit out of Bella's senior year of high school so pointlessly. That's what New Moon and Eclipse are.
Okay.
So it didn't need to happen. I think her saying that just it makes it a canon event to say that New Moon and Eclipse are pointless because they didn't need to exist. They were only written for money, and she admitted that.
So the first movie, is she a freshman?
Junior.
Holy shit, so there's 5 fucking movies about 2 grades of school?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yep. At least Harry Potter was his childhood. Wow.
I think the first movie takes place over the most of that junior year, and then the up to Breaking Dawn Part 1 is the senior year.
Yeah.
So that's 3 movies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
2.5.
Yeah, so Bella moves to Forks in March of her junior year. So the first Twilight movie is March to June of her junior year.
Okay.
And then New Moon immediately starts with the very first day of her senior year of high school. And Eclipse, she is still in her senior year.
Interesting. Okay.
New Moon has one of the funniest things in the movies to me, which is where she's in this depressive cycle and she just keeps seeing visions of Edward, and he's her fucking Jiminy Cricket ass conscience.
Yo. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah. I thought it was interesting how at no point does she think she needs like psychiatric help. Like she's just like, guess I'm talking to strangers and getting on their motorcycle.
She's also just in her bed, has a nightmare and wakes up screaming. A lot of times, it's implied.
Yeah, why didn't her dad do something about that?
He very much tried. Like, there's that scene in which he tells her, hey, I'm really, really worried about you. He's also, like, a Midwestern.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not even Midwestern. I think of him that way. He's Pacific Northwest.
That's true.
You know, white dad who's only been a dad for, like, a year at that point.
True. Huh. Okay.
But also, like, how do you tell a therapist about that? I'm crushed over the departure of my vampire boyfriend who I've been dating for 7 months.
True. Yeah, I guess it's a
And
good
I'm
point.
18 years old. A therapist would be like, girl, pull yourself
she
together.
dates him for a few months and then loses it.
That's funny.
Anyways, any more overarching thoughts on that one?
This was like a fever dream to me. Like this movie I thought was pointless. I think I bundled this movie. Okay, let me just go this way. I had like 12 notes for the first movie. I have 2 notes for the second movie. I have no notes for this movie only because and honestly, one of my notes just says there was no story progression. There was not. There's no story progression. Nothing truly happens. Honestly, it's like maybe 3 conversations. They could have done they could have done a post-credit scene in the first movie and we would have gotten right here. Like, her depression doesn't seem to have caused any actual lasting change other than deepen her bond to essentially a monster. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, a lot of it is Jacob character development, and then literally the only part that has any effect on the story otherwise is the establishment that Edward will change her into a vampire.
Yep. I second
if she marries him.
As New Moon is my least favorite everything book movie. I think it's the most pointless. It's dead last my order of favorites for me, and I agree. I think the only purpose of it is to establish that she has to turn into a vampire one day.
Yeah.
However, it does have the best soundtrack of all of the movies, I would argue.
I can't remember them well enough to argue against that.
There's
Not that I would.
a possibility.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, yeah. No, I agree. Sorry, that's all I need. Okay. Anthony, what was your other single note? Or have you already gone over it?
it just says he craves suicide.
I mean, yeah.
But also she does too. Like, it's just a suicidal movie, and then in the end, they're gonna get married. It's just really how that goes.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah. It's also like one of those things where...
Or hell.
Like,
Da-da-da.
also then, like, she keeps talking about how old she is because she's 18, and the fucking werewolf guy's what?
16.
16? Like, she's like, "Oh, I'm so old. And it's like, calm down. Like, it's just weird.
I always forget that he's supposed to be like 2 years younger than her. Because it's fucking Taylor Lautner. And especially later on when he gets jacked.
Oh, the wigs were pretty great.
They were actually going to change actors because they didn't feel like Taylor Lautner would fit like the Jacob vibe change. And so they were going to have it like be an actor swap. And so Taylor Lautner got mega jacked and gained like 30 pounds for it.
Mid-movie swap or in-between movie swap?
Like in between movies, I think.
Has any other movie done like in movie like actor swap?
Twilight does.
In the middle of the movie?
In the third movie.
No, not in the middle of the movie.
I'm so sorry.
The actress for Victoria changes.
Oh, I mean, like there's supposed to be a change of a character, so they just change who plays them.
I think there's some comedy movie that's probably done that, but I can't name it off the top of my head.
Do you know how crazy it would be
yeah.
if like the next scene cuts, he's a werewolf, and it's just a different guy, and she has to be like, "Wow, you changed," and it's like, "Yes, that's just a different human being." Oh, I would like that.
Literally a different man. Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways, last thoughts or move on to Eclipse?
That was it. Do you have any thoughts?
I don't. Nope. But now we're getting into uncharted territory for Anthony.
Oh, shit.
So this will get
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so the rest of these next 2, because we're going to skip Breaking Dawn Part 2. The next 2 will be pretty short then. It'll just be Allison and I.
Do you think
Really
that we
fast.
should come back after Anthony has seen Breaking Dawn Part 2 and do an entire episode based on that?
God. Okay.
Based on just the last movie? Maybe.
I had enough thoughts about that movie that could fill an hour for sure.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about it regardless. So Eclipse. The film follows Bella Swan as she develops awareness of the possible complications of marrying a vampire. Jacob Black and the rest of the wolves form a temporary alliance with the Cullens to battle Victoria and her army of newborn vampires to keep Bella safe. Jacob unsuccessfully tries to convince Bella to leave Edward and be with him instead. Edward proposes to Bella and she accepts it. So that could have been...
Wait.
That's it.
Hold on. They prepare. Wait, hold on. They make a truce in preparation for a fight, but they don't fight.
I think they do.
They do fight.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, they do. It's just left out of the synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit unclear.
And then how is she forming vampires? Is she just biting a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a guy who's, I'm not gonna spoil it too much. There's another guy. It's a whole thing. There's this whole side plot. It's pretty stupid.
Also,
and
is she really that main? Like, is she really the villain of this world? Like, she was just kind of a lady in the first movie. I guess she was the lover of the fucking saber-toothed tiger guy.
She's just really mad that they killed James. Did you find out if that was the same actor? Because I don't think it is.
Let me look it up.
He just looks like that guy. Look that up while we talk about the important stuff.
Who do you think
I actually want to just read. He thinks he looks like the actor for Sabretooth from X-Men.
Oh, got you. Sorry.
I kind of want to read the synopsis of Breaking Dawn Part 1 before I give the thought.
Okay.
Because the thoughts on all of my thoughts are on all of the middle movies. Do you have anything about Eclipse specifically?
No, I don't really have any major thoughts about Eclipse. I prefer it only because, emotionally, as someone who loves the romance, I do think it's good for that. But I think that's really all it gives. Yeah. I will say I watched it a couple weekends ago on a trip, and I fell asleep during the last 10-15 minutes. Yeah. I hate
that's
the
because
last
it was late at night.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do hate that. I also live for the graduation party scene. I think that's situationally the funniest without being intentionally funny scene the whole series. It's so awkward.
I can't remember it, but yeah, I barely remember it, honestly. I should rewatch the very end of that movie.
It's so good.
Okay, but then in that case, Breaking Dawn Part 1, the first part follows Bella and Edward as they get married and Bella becomes pregnant. They deal with their struggle of being pregnant and nearly dying because of her half-human, half-vampire child. That's it. That's the entire synopsis of Breaking Dawn Part 1. They just fuck.
Thoughts, Anthony?
Thoughts, Anthony? Are you interested in watching this movie?
No, not
I know
really
the
at
images you sent me.
Okay, can we talk about these images? They look, they look similar.
I can't believe I have to create a fucking image post for this. I'm gonna combine them and make them one image, and it's just gonna be that
side by side.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they both have black eyes. They've got kind of similar noses. I think it tracks.
They do look kind of similar, but I don't know where in your head you got these are the same actor.
Because they're both trackers. They both sniff. At some point in the movie, they both sniff, and I was like, it's the same guy.
That's a similar character trait, not the same actor.
I know, but it just fit. It just fit well in my mind. I'm gonna say if you looked up that whoever that lady is, the Mormon, she took inspiration from Sabretooth.
I can look that up. Let's see if she writes on.
Yeah, that movie sounds very boring, and I am not looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, my thought is all of the middle movies could be one movie, and nothing would fundamentally change.
By middle movies, do you mean 3 movies?
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, good to know.
I think New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn Part 1 could have all been one singular movie, and it would have been a better movie than any of the 3 of them. More would have actually happened, and now that Allison has said it's because they wanted more money, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, that tracks.
It really is, because I want you to think about it. New Moon is Jacob becomes a werewolf. Victoria wants to kill Bella. Edward is gonna kill himself because they're separated, but then Edward tells Bella that he'll change her into a vampire if she marries him. Then they fight Victoria with alliance with the werewolves that Jacob is kind of leading, kind of not. It's a whole thing. And Edward proposes and she accepts it. They get married, they fuck, she's pregnant.
Whoa.
That could have been one thing.
Yeah, maybe a 2.5 hour movie, but I think it would have been possible.
It might have been a slightly longer movie, but it would have been better than the 3 fucking movies that it is. Even forcing them into 2 movies would have been better.
And she produced the last 2 movies. Interesting.
Stephanie Meyer produced last.
Yeah.
I just am grateful, though, for all of the incredible pointless scenes and quotes that we get in movies 2 through 4.
100%.
Yeah, like, it's worth it. It's worth the pain and the time commitment.
New Moon, Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca? Eclipse. What's in that one?
Eclipse. Battle Scars.
Oh, Battle Scars! Man, on that same trip where we watched the movies, I burned myself on the grill, and it's left a mark on my arm. I basically branded myself, and I keep turning it towards my partner, which is at a really awkward angle because it's on like the bottom back of my arm. So I turn my arm up to show like my wrists, basically, and I just go, Battle Scars.
That's funny.
Is that when you said that he turned Southern?
Yep.
Okay,
That's when
gotcha.
you find out that he was part of the Confederate Army.
It is his whole backstory.
That's so fucked up.
Which, like,
It's
why did
it's a
she do
whole
that?
thing.
Why did Stephanie
She just
Meyer do
didn't
that?
need to. I mean, there's like a number of things in there that like almost make sense, but then at the end you're like, he didn't have to be a Confederate.
Yeah, that's true.
But like it's a whole mess. It sucks so bad. Like if she wrote like a few more sentences, he could have had a different backstory where he wasn't a Confederate.
Not wrong.
It like wouldn't be that hard, especially considering none of it takes place during that time. So you can just make up whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Cause she says what? He's part of like the Confederate newborn army newborn vampire army that they were making. And it's like, we're already making up fake things that would change history entirely. You can just say something else.
You mean you don't think the Confederate vampire army was fighting Abraham Lincoln vampire slayer hunter? You don't think that there's
Same universe.
You're right.
the same
I
universe?
think those movies are in the same universe, yeah.
Yep.
Shared universe. Let's go. I should watch that movie. It seems
God,
like
it
it
was
sucks.
so bad. It was so bad. Also in 2012.
You're really profiting off of vampire hype. Like, that whole decade was just... Oh, no, go down.
Which part?
Oh, wait. Post that picture.
He also just
Which
looks
one?
He looks
He's gonna
sickly.
send it.
He does not look well.
Are you posting a picture of Abraham Lincoln next to Edward Cullen? Yeah, that one. I'm looking at that too.
Love it.
God, it's just not good.
Sucks. Okay.
I think that the bottom line, that the main purpose of Eclipse is to establish even more Mormonism than was established before. It's really just the Bella really wants to fuck, and Edward's like, no ring on that finger, no dick in that puss. And then they establish that they have to get married. And I
There
think
must
that,
be a more eloquent way to put that.
I don't know, is there?
But is there?
No venom in the crev?
So like, do they really talk
No ring
about?
on the ding, no ding in the ping. I'm fucking now.
So they really talk about like getting married that much? Like they've already fully
Yes.
understood. But it's so funny because like if he believes that she's going to hell, what's the wedding
It's
gonna
what
help?
girls want.
At
Okay.
least they'll be married. It's his,
Okay.
like, there is this scene in Eclipse in which Bella is going to have her very first sleepover at Edward's house. No parents.
Whoa.
No parents. And she's like, this is it. I'm going to lose my virginity, finally. And Edward's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought we were just having a good old-fashioned sleepover. Like,
You
we're-
want to listen to some Debussy?
yeah. He's like, we're not engaged. What are you talking about? And she's like, are you serious? And he's like, yes. I think you forget that, like, chivalry is my life.
Yeah.
So,
Damn. I'm excited for that. That'll be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, we're gonna skip Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Good.
It's where it ends.
It's where the
I want to say Breaking Dawn Part 2 is an insane movie, and
It-
I think it has one of the worst plots.
I think that you could actually argue that of all the movies, Breaking Dawn Part 2 did not need to be made, but I'm so glad it was. Like, the way that they do that, it's so unnecessary.
I am so happy that it was made.
I agree. But if they...
I think it is the worst plot.
it
of-
is.
Frankly, any movie I've ever seen.
What?
And if they didn't do all that, they would have no movie. It would be like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for you to see it, Anthony. My God. It's
Everybody
like,
who has seen it knows exactly what Allison and I are talking about.
Exactly.
Anthony has no idea.
That that photo. Teen Vogue, obsessed.
Oh,
Thank you, Teen Vogue, our hardest hitting news network.
Honestly.
Unironically, they go hard.
Snaps for the girls.
funny.
Okay, let's go over the whole Twilight plot.
Cool.
We're going back to movie 1.
We're going back to movie 1. I have a more in-depth plot breakdown. So I'll read through a paragraph by paragraph, and then we'll go over notes and thoughts.
Okay.
Might need to speed this one a little bit up. We did talk about all those movies a lot more than I thought we would, which is great.
How could we not?
I love thoughts. Okay, Twilight, a 2008 film, the same year that Mamma Mia came out.
Woo!
2 banger movies for the ladies. Let's go. Okay, 17-year-old Bella Swan leaves Phoenix, Arizona and moves to Fork, a small town located on Washington's Olympic Peninsula, to live with her father, Charlie, the town's police chief. Her mother, Renee, is remarried to Phil, a minor league baseball player. That is the first paragraph.
Yeah, amazing. And it's also told to you like over exposition. So
Any
it's
notes on the first 5 minutes film?
no, not at all.
No thoughts at all.
And the
thoughts on why she-
comes, oh, that's when.
What?
I'm singing that song and that scene of the movie. Cut that out.
Nope, I'm not cutting that out. No thoughts on she's so pale and that's why they kicked her out of Arizona?
I just don't know how she didn't get sunburned. It doesn't really make any sense.
Nobody does. SPF like 50.
No thoughts on her carrying a cactus on a plane ride from
Just a
one
tiny
state
little
to
cactus?
another?
Oh yeah, I have that. I have that as well.
Okay, good.
She just carries it the entire time.
I know what image I
It's not
need
in
to
a
post.
bag.
My main thought in the first 5 minutes of Twilight is actually the painting of a dog that sits on Bella's nightstand for the entirety of the film series. Let me get a picture.
Okay, I do need that. I will read the second paragraph as you do,
Do it.
just so we're moving along. Bella becomes reacquainted with Jacob Black, a Native American teen who lives with his father Billy on the Quileute Indian Reservation near Forks. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I literally cannot remember. I think that's right. At school, she finds the mysterious and aloof Colin siblings particularly intriguing. She is seated next to Edward Colin in biology class, but he seems repulsed by her.
Actively repulsed.
I want your specific thoughts on the scene where she stands in front of the fan in the biology class for the first time, and he just like covers his face. That is an insane dog painting.
And it's there the whole time. I love it.
I love it.
I think that it's one of those things where he looks like she shit herself and he's smelling it. And so like,
Yeah.
and to a point where like she then like is acting kind of cool about a situation where I think she should just be more offended than she is.
Yeah, she just like sniffs her pit once and then moves on.
She's so infatuated with him. That's the thing. Is she's like, God, he's hot. I could never be mad.
Do you... Question partially for Allison and question for Anthony. The one for Anthony is, do you want to know? Allison, do you know from Midnight Sun what he's thinking during that scene?
I do. I did read Midnight Sun.
Oh, fantastic.
We spoke
Anthony,
about
do you
it.
want to know?
We spoke about it during the movie.
He goes into it. He gets a massive horny murder rage from smelling her.
It's
And
like
that's so funny.
we were talking about it watching the movie too. It's probably like 30 pages of the book of him just like going through these thoughts of
God.
how he would murder her in every possible way.
Damn.
That book is like 3 times longer than the original Twilight book as well, because Edward's a fucking yapper.
It's crazy.
Also, with the introduction of the Colons, did any of you notice that Emmett was carrying like a dozen eggs
His
in a
eggs.
plastic bag?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have that note for sure.
Anthony has that note because when my friend Lindsay and I went to Twilight Trivia a couple months ago, that was indeed our trivia team name, was 1 dozen hard-boiled eggs in a Ziploc bag. I have a picture of that. I'll also send if you want to include it.
You've also blown past the child actor in the high school volleyball scene. Let's see if I can, there's a child just like in the, hold on. If I can find the kid.
I do love a trivia name that goes way past the like line that they give you.
Oh my God, that photo.
There's just a kid. like hold on.
What are you about to send me?
Like she's just there. There's just a child.
I have never noticed that.
Is there an article about like who she is?
I mean, I'm sure I could find it, but I'm trying to see if I can find
Do the Reddit little girl in the volleyball scene.
She's just one of the set person's children, probably.
Freshman. One person just comments freshman.
True.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if I can find, because I want to see, there's another, like, showing the kid in the background, but I can't find it now. Oh, there's the eggs. Hold on.
There's the eggs.
I gotta post the eggs as well. Yeah.
I think he has that just because that's the actor's lunch for the day. So they were like, yeah, just take that on for what the vampire thinks you would eat.
Straight up bulking.
Yeah.
Fun fact about me is when I was in my Twilight phase in 7th grade, 8th grade, whatever it was, when I would watch the DVD, I would turn on the director's commentary, and it was Catherine Hardwicke, the director. Only female Twilight Saga director, by the way. Let's make note of that. Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, and they just talked over the entire movie, and it's so funny. Like, they actually hate the movie just as much as everyone else does. It's so funny.
Everybody fucking hates the movie. It's all the people who worked on it. Also, in that image with the dozen eggs, is that even the actor for Alice?
Back to the picture.
I'm sorry. Is that a different person? Maybe that's just a really bad shot.
Oh my god. It really does not look like her. But why
or maybe
would they
she just
put
looks
it double?
that insane in the first movie. I think she just looks that insane in the first movie.
It's possible. Okay, what's the next scene?
1 second. I am checking this. Give me an image of her during the lunch. No, I think I have to watch it again because I swear that is not the same person. Although she might also be wearing a wig in like half that movie. Anyways, the next set of scenes, I guess. Also, any thoughts on Charlie, our favorite DILF?
Nah, I think you got him. I think you've captured him.
One line, that's all he needs. Our favorite DILF.
Yeah, okay, perfect. When Bella is nearly struck by a van in the school parking lot, Edward instantaneously covers a distance of over 30 feet to put himself between her and the van, stopping it with only his hand. He refuses to explain his actions to her, warning her against befriending him. Jacob tells Bella about a long-standing animosity between the Cullens and the Quileutes. Man, I really cannot pronounce that. I live in this bitch. Why can't Quileutes? The Cullens are not allowed on the reservation. That's when they go to La Push, baby.
Yep.
It's La Push.
I think this is the one where
La Push.
He just is such a fucking asshole to her. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's like, nothing happened. And she goes, please tell me. And then he goes, even if I told you, no one would believe you. And it's like, damn. That's so fucked up.
Gaslit hard in that scene. My favorite part of watching this scene with our friends who came over to watch was that as she like is falling from the car, like Edward is holding her, right? The car comes, he pushes away, Edward's holding her. My friend Lindsay just goes, show her crack. And like part of her pants just falls slightly. You don't really see her butt, but for whatever reason, that's my friend Lindsay's takeaway from that scene. And I just love it that she just shouts, show her crack.
Show her crack. She's so right, actually.
Anthony's got the image.
Of her crack? It's just kind of her lower back.
Exactly.
It's just her lower back.
Funny.
Wait.
If I have to exclude any images, that's the first to go, by the way.
That's fine. That's fine. The fuck? Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting lost in fucking Google images now.
Yeah, please stop.
Okay.
We don't need images for every scene. Thoughts on the car scene, though, Anthony?
No, I think it's funny how that one kid, like, he kept saying sorry for almost killing her, but I don't think he was really sorry. Like, I think that he needed a little bit more, he just wasn't sincere. I just don't feel like...
You think Charlie should have arrested him right then and there in the hospital?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would have taught him a lesson.
Wow, I can't believe you would say that about the one black actor in the movie.
Is he the only one?
Laurent exists.
Oh my god, Laurent, no! He's French.
He's French, but
He's
it's a cow.
still black.
That's different.
Also, like, is that a character that lasts for the entire movie series?
No, I don't know if he ever shows up again. Does he?
I don't know about the movies. He does in the books, but I don't remember seeing the actor in any other movies.
To be fair, I don't remember any of the like high schooler characters in like any of the other sections except maybe the wedding.
Yeah, and he's not invited to the wedding.
Makes sense.
I can't believe I forgot about Laurent. I really don't see color. I just think of him as French.
Just go to French.
When Edward saves Bella again, this time from a gang, after research, she concludes that he is a vampire. He eventually confirms this, explaining that he found her scent irresistible back in biology class, and that the Cullens only consume animal blood.
See, it is, but I think I'm okay with it saying it's pig blood.
You see them getting them deer.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
What you actually miss in the movies is Edward's explanation that every family member has their favorite animal to eat. What do you think is Edward's? Like, what would be an animal you could find in the Pacific Northwest that you think just be his favorite?
Tell me he doesn't fucking yum on raccoons.
That would be amazing, but no.
I'm saying it's like bear.
No, Emmett's is a grizzly bear.
Okay, I don't know.
Edward's is a mountain lion.
Oh.
Which I'm kind of like, are those like endangered?
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know
he
if-
shouldn't do that.
I don't know if he can do that.
But he loves
Yeah,
it.
I think that's actually bad. I'm pretty sure.
For 100 years, he's been doing that?
No, I think it's just his favorite while they live in Washington.
Oh, okay. But damn, still.
Yeah.
At least concerned, but population decreasing.
He does comment that when you have an animal that is a carnivore
threat and-
itself, it's better. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's just blood. It's
For
just
sure.
a way of getting the blood.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Anyways, next scene. The pair fall in love, and he introduces her to his vampire family. Carlisle Cullen, the patriarch, is a doctor at the Forks Hospital. Esme, his wife, and Alice, Jasper, Emmett, and Rosalie are their informally adopted children. The family's reaction to Bella is mixed, as some of the Cullens are concerned that the family secret could be exposed. This is the part where Rosalie absolutely fucking destroys that salad bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep.
And also they make Italian because her name is Bella.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No. But they're not dumb. Like,
Emmett literally goes, her name is Bella.
okay, well, never mind then. Okay.
Emmett's a fucking himbo and we love him.
Love him a lot. Also, a fun movie fact, if you wanted to know. In that scene, Rosalie is wearing gloves because in the first take, she crushes the bowl and she actually cut the shit out of her hands. So they had to give her the gloves to cover
Oh
her
my
hands up
gosh.
so she could do it again. Yeah.
Damn.
Fun fact.
That is a good fact. What's next? What happens next?
I'm sorry, I keep losing my spot because it's a bunch of paragraphs. Edward and Bella's relationship is jeopardized when 3 nomadic vampires, James, Victoria, and Laurent, arrive, responsible for a series of deaths being investigated as animal attacks. James, a tracker vampire, is excited by Bella's scent and becomes obsessed with hunting her for sport. The Cullens protect Bella from the trio. Laurent chose to warn the Cullens about James, who in turn attempt to draw James away from Bella, but James manages to track her to Phoenix. She's there hiding with Jasper and Alice, and James tricks her into thinking he kidnapped her mother by luring her into the old ballet studio. That is a lot of scenes in one paragraph.
Damn.
Baseball.
Yep. So it's a baseball movie for sure. I also think that their like push that James is immediately obsessed with her as a hunt, like, is unfounded. Like, she
Well, it's
walks
because
away.
she smells delicious.
It's also because they try to hide her. They try to play it off.
Yeah.
I know,
And
but
he
it's
knows
just
they're
like,
going to protect her, so it's exciting.
but they just like say that to her. Like, there's no way where James shows it. They just go, oh, because of this.
Anthony,
What?
Edward can read minds. He knows.
Oh, I forgot. That's what it is.
He
It's
literally
fucking
knows.
You
reads it.
always forget that. He can read everybody's mind.
I know, but it's just a way of like not having development because he can just read someone's mind and be like, here's what they were thinking. And it's like, or
Yeah.
like this person could tell us. Like, I don't know. It's just, does James actually talk? Like, how many words does he say in the entire movie? 20?
He has his whole little monologue near the end.
I guess that's true. Yeah, when he's like
monologuing,
when he's like
baby.
torturing her. Okay, valid. I guess that's true. Either way, I didn't like it. I
Did
thought it
you
was
like
dumb.
the baseball scene?
No, I thought it was dumb. I thought
What is wrong with you, Anthony?
thought it did.
That scene
Divorce.
is the only good scene in this goddamn movie. It is
I
a
don't-
masterpiece.
I don't disagree. I think that scene, I think that I wish they had played a bit longer. But they
True.
did. They hit, what, 2
I
balls?
like when Rosalie said, "There's my monkey man."
Actually, I think, wait, they didn't even play. They threw the second ball and it flew like next to the other vampires. And that was it.
Yeah.
So they played, what, 1 ball?
Vampires move quickly. They heard it. They started running.
I guess. I just thought that was dumb.
They literally, I think they literally bat like 3 times.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's twice.
What did you think of the plot contrivance that they had to play during thunderstorms and thus Alice had to pitch because she can see the future so she can time it correctly?
I thought that was cute. I think that at some level, how hard can you possibly hit a baseball where it sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, is that
Without
really needed?
vaporizing everybody in the vicinity.
Well, I don't know. Like, is it really that loud where they need to have the thunder? That just seemed kind of weird.
It's unclear. I don't think there's much science in this book, Anthony.
It's
That's
true.
true.
I
That's
always
true.
wondered how they didn't like break the bats over
Yeah.
and make it sound like thunder.
True.
Also, when we watched the movie, Anthony had a really good theory for how James tricked Bella to get to the ballet studio. Do you remember that? Like when she picks up the phone and it's her mom's voice?
Oh, I thought it was the lady. I thought the lady's power was changing her voice.
Yes, that's right. He thought Victoria had an ability, a special talent as well. And it was basically to be like a mimic.
Yeah, I thought she was a mimic. So I thought that she was helping James lure Bella.
Which would honestly be an iconic pairing.
Yeah.
For a tracker and a mimic.
Absolutely. Like, I just think it made sense. And instead,
That would go crazy.
He just
Stephanie Meyer.
he just stole her home videos, which is infinitely lamer than what happened. I'll call the author. I'll let her know. She can.
Yeah, you should let her
read it.
know, like 20 years later.
This is kind of a spoiler, but like, so the lady, the new villain
This
lady,
is nothing but spoilers.
she doesn't have an ability?
No, she does not.
Oh, that's lame. Okay.
Most vampires don't.
So far, we've met like 12, and 11 of them have abilities.
Mhm.
What is the French guy's ability?
Doesn't have one.
So it's just James?
He's just French.
Well, that's not really good
It's
ability.
only James, Edward, Alice, and Jasper.
And all the people in Italy.
Well, most of them.
Okay.
Some of them don't.
Okay.
But the reason that they're there is because they have abilities,
Oh,
right? So like
okay.
Aro's thing, that main guy, his
Yeah.
thing is collecting vampires with abilities.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Also, if somebody fucking comes at me with Laurent just from the south, because like there's a large French colonialization project down there, I don't want to fucking hear it, all right? Because I realize he doesn't have a French accent, like, at all. Don't want to hear it.
I think he's meant to be like Haitian.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
Sorry, don't hear it. Don't hear it.
Don't correct me.
He's Googling it.
I'm not Google. I'm trying to remember which paragraph I'm on. There it is. James revealed the kidnapping was a ruse as he attacks Bella, infecting her with vampire venom. The Cullens arrive and kill James, decapitating and burning him as Edward removes the venom from Bella's wrist, preventing her from becoming a vampire. So, my question for that scene is always, they fucking destroy the shit out of that ballet studio? What do people think happened there?
Well, I think we know.
What do we know?
They burned it down.
Oh, they
Oh.
fully burned it down?
They fully burned it down. That's also in Midnight Sun. A
Wow.
huge, like, I think the last 3 chapters is in detail how they, like, honestly, legitimately stage the accident that Bella has, right? So, like, we know as the viewer, she wakes up and her mom tells her, oh my God, you were at a hotel and you fell down a flight of stairs. What you learn in Midnight Sun, Edward's version, is that, like, they legit go to a hotel and destroy a hotel and break a window as if someone legit did fall down the stairs. Like, they go over and above to
Wow.
seriously stage the whole, and then they burn down the ballet studio.
Also, do vampires, when they die, do they leave bones or do they like turn to ash?
Oh my God, great question.
I have no idea.
StephanieMeyer.com.
Right? Because like even
Stephanie?
if they burn down the ballet studio, they're still like, if the firefighters find a body, like, you're fucked.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah.
it's probably just ash.
Okay.
Well, if the venom in their skin is highly flammable, then the venom in their bones is also highly flammable.
Oh, so think it probably just burns.
all their cells are hardened and venom based or whatever, venom lube between all of them. So
That's true.
anyways, in the aftermath, Edward accompanies an injured Bella to prom where he refuses her request to transform her into a vampire. They are unaware of that James's mate, Victoria, is watching them, plotting revenge for her lover's death. Nice cliffhanger for number
She is
2.
plotting a little too close, right? Like, she's plotting
yeah.
in the room, like in the house,
She's like also dressed up for prom.
which is very funny. Overall, I give it a 6 out of 10.
The whole film?
Yeah.
So I can't find what happens to vampires' bones when they burn, but this is a question that's posed on Stephanie Meyer's website that we could take some time to debate if you'd like. Is Bella an anti-feminist heroine?
Well, I don't know yet. I think we need to wait till I've watched all the movies.
fair.
Like the
Okay.
other girls. Okay, so that is the synopsis of all the movies and the like run through of the first movie. I have an activity for us
Okay.
that will be the last thing.
Yep.
I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
I have sections of the script.
Okay.
I want to read the La Push section and then the
Oh my
at least some of the
God.
forest
It's so
It won't take that
long.
long. It won't take that long.
Who's who?
It's so long.
Well, that's a great question. Who wants to be who? I think Bella will be Bella in both of the scenes.
God,
So
it's
who wants to claim Bella? I think
just-
it'd be funny if Anthony did it.
Yeah, Anthony, you're Bella.
God, okay.
Can I be Mike?
You can absolutely be Mike. I want to be Eric.
I think we're gonna need multiples in this one.
We are, because then we need Jessica and Angela.
Okay, well, since I'm Mike, you should be Jessica, because that's the counter to Mike. And since you're Eric,
Okay.
I'll be Angela, because that's the counter.
Okay, perfect. In that case, we are now reading the scene about LaPush.
And
Fucking
scene.
dumb.
And scene. LaPush, baby. You in?
Should I know what that means?
La Push Beach, down on the Twilight Res. We're all going after school. Big swell coming in.
And I don't just surf the internet.
But then he does that little stupid move, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Don't worry.
Okay.
And Jessica.
You're Jessica.
Oh, that's me again. Eric, you stood up once on a foam board.
There's whale watching too. Come with.
LaPush, baby.
I'll go if you stop saying that.
That's it. That's the LaPush scene.
God.
Okay.
That's so fucking long.
So
Fine.
green is our narrator, blue is Bella, red is Edward.
Griffin, would you like to be Edward?
I could be Edward.
Okay, and
In
then
that case, do you want to be the narrator?
I do want to be the narrator.
Okay, the forest reveal scene. We start with the narrator. And scene.
The stands of trees.
You gotta talk louder, you're not gonna
Then the
get
sound of the forest abruptly drop out. A predator is near. Edward appears behind her. She doesn't turn around a beat.
You're impossibly fast and strong. Your skin is pale white, ice cold, and your eyes change color. And sometimes you speak like you're from a different time. Turns to face him now, which really should be the narrator.
Turns to face him now.
You never eat food or drink or come out in the sunlight. And you said no to the beach trip only after you heard where it was, because of the treaty.
This last registers with him. She steps closer to him.
How old are you?
17.
How long have you been 17?
A long beat as we begin to circle them. He sees he can't hide anymore. Honestly, honesty is an enormous risk, but he has to take it.
A while.
This is where the
Also,
cuts go insane.
Yeah, the spacing and capitalization in this thing was whack. I got it from imsdb.com. I copy and pasted it. I edited it a lot. Anyways, we're here. A while.
She inhales. She knew, but it's still shocking. We circle them faster.
I know what the cold ones are, what you are.
Say it out loud. Say it.
All sound suddenly drops out. We hear only her whisper.
Vampire.
They seem to hover in momentary status. Him utterly exposed, her reality utterly rocked.
Are you afraid?
No,
Edward, angry. Then ask me the most basic question. What do we eat?
you won't hurt me. You're different.
You think you know me?
He glares at her. She holds her ground. Suddenly, he takes her by the hand, starts walking.
Where are we going?
Up the mountain, out of the cloud bank. You need to see what I really am. What I look like in Jesus fucking Christ. What I look like in the harsh light of the sun. There's a reason I'm not an actor.
Wait, is this what happens? No, the sunlight
Yeah.
will kill you. I don't remember that at all.
Some of these are slightly off.
Okay.
This is like the actual script.
Oh, okay.
Myth. You need to see the truth.
He pulls her, but she stumbles.
Slow down.
Suddenly, he's right next to her.
Are you afraid?
No.
Then come with me. Someplace where no one can protect you. Where I could do what I've wanted to do from the first moment I met you.
Their proximity is intense, riveting both of them.
I'm not afraid.
You should be.
He abruptly and effortlessly scoops her right up into his arms.
Hold on.
Then he flings her onto his back and starts running. Exit forest running, day 69. As in the opening sequence, Edward races through the forest, dark trunks strobing past as he picks up speed faster and faster. Bella clings to his back as it seems he'll collide with the trees, but he avoids them with supernatural grace. It's frightening, nauseating, intoxicating.
Are you afraid?
No. She just keeps saying no.
But she clings tighter, terrified. They climb in altitude, higher and higher above the fog layer. Finally up ahead, the forest edge fast approaches. A clearing is beyond. The sunlight glows, white hot beyond the trees. They're about to emerge from the shadowy darkness. But suddenly, Bella finds herself sitting on the ground against a tree. All is silent. She's dizzy, tries to regain her equilibrium. She realizes she's alone.
Edward, where are you?
She rises, then steps just beyond the fringe of the ferns into 70, exit a meadow, continuous day 70, a perfect circle of swaying grass, wildflowers, and buttery sunlight. Here, a stream nearby. Bella looks around and finally sees Edward, his shirt open. Standing nearby in the shade of some trees, he watches her cautiously. She takes a step forward to him, but he holds up a hand. She waits. Finally, he takes a deep breath and steps out of the shade.
This is why we don't show ourselves in sunlight.
As the sun hits him, Edward's skin literally sparkles as if embedded with thousands of tiny diamonds. He is magnificent, shimmering like a statue carved from glittering crystal. He moves towards her.
This is what I am. Oh, that should be narrator.
Oh, he nears, clearly expecting her to recoil, but
You're beautiful.
he realizes that she's in awe. She reaches to touch him, but immediately backs into shadows, his skin normal again.
Edward, appalled. Beautiful. I'm a killer, Bella. This is the skin of a killer.
His arm juts into a shaft of light, sparkling again.
I don't believe that.
Because you believe the lie, the camouflage. I'm the world's most dangerous predator. Everything about me invites you in. My voice, my face, even my smell. As if I need any of that.
He's suddenly behind her, then in front of her, then by a tree, darting so fast. We only see where he lands.
As if you could outrun me. As if you could fight me off.
He abruptly rips off a large tree limb, then throws it against a tree trunk with explosive force. Bella flinches but holds her ground, unshakable.
I'm designed to kill.
I don't care.
I've killed people.
It doesn't matter.
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life. I'm dangerous to you.
I trust you.
Don't.
I trust you, Edward. I'm here.
She takes his hand. He reels at the warmth of her touch. She leans in, drawn to him, unaware that her throat is nearing his lips. Then suddenly he's gone.
Edward?
She looks over to find he's on the other side of the meadow, catching his breath.
You took me by surprise, collecting himself. I don't know how to do this.
He moves back toward her, slowly.
Me and my family, we're different from others of our kind. We're not nomadic. We have a permanent home. We only hunt animals. We've learned to control our thirst. Shaking his head. But you're scent. It's like a drug to me. My own personal brand of heroin.
Oh, I thought you hated me when we met.
I did. For making me want you so badly. I'm still not sure I can control myself.
He reaches her again.
I know you can.
He's utterly vulnerable as he looks at her, searching her face for clues.
I wish I could understand this thing you see in me. You look at me with those eyes, frustrated. I can't read your mind. Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm afraid.
Stricken, he sinks gracefully to his knees in the grass.
Edward, devastated. Good.
She sinks down in front of him.
Not of that. I'm afraid you'll disappear, that I'll lose you.
Edward, amazed, elated. You don't know how long I've looked for you.
They share a smile. Then he reaches towards her neck, pausing.
Be very still.
She does so, exercising great control. He places his hand on her throat. It's so exposed, so vulnerable. The rush between them is overwhelming, but Bella doesn't move. He brushes his hand up her cheek, then lowers it to her heart. Clouds float past the sun. They're both overwhelmed, taking each other in.
And so the lion fell for the lamb.
Stupid lamb.
Sick, masochistic lion.
Crane up on the two of them, laying together as close as they dare, his hand to her heart.
And that's it.
And scene.
And scene.
And scene. Beautiful. Fantastic. No notes. Perfect. Basically we should be in the movie. Hey guys, what if we refilmed the movie with us in it?
I would be down for that challenge.
Anyways, stop that stream. And that is the end of my Twilight notes.
Nice.
I really wanted to read that forest scene. It's so stupid.
I really loved the narrator part. That was great.
Oh, it was so good.
Well, check back in after we watch Breaking Dawn BD Part 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the end of this episode. Thanks for listening to episode 58 of It's Twilight. Little push, baby. You can email us at tbtlpod@gmail.com, and our Instagram is at tbtlpod. I'm Griffin. This is Anthony. We've been joined by special guest Allison, local Twilight expert Allison.
Aww.
Tell your friends.
Tell
Bye.
twice. Goodbye.
Bye.
Clap sync.
Clap sync. 3, 2, 1.